All right, excellent. Okay, thank you guys for jumping on today. This class, we're going to call it Hamilton Mountain Strength, and it's basically just a slow and low impact strength workout. And so today we are going to be doing 5-minute AMRAP rounds. Okay, so I'm going to put 5 minutes on the timer. We have AMRAP just means as many rounds as possible. And so it's a really, it gives you the impression that you should be going like really, really fast and like going quick. Today, I just want you to focus on slow controlled form with one exercise, and then you'll do the second one. So we'll go back and forth between 2 exercises. You'll have to count your reps, or you can just stay with me and switch when I switch. And then we'll move on to the next 5-minute rounds. There's quite a few 5-minute rounds. Trying to get total body. So we're trying to get everything worked today. Let's just start by doing a little bit of stretching together, and then we will jump into our workout. Okay, so start with your feet wide. What I'm going to have you guys doing is bringing your arms out into a T and starting with just a gentle rotation here. Nothing too crazy yet. And then as you guys get a little bit looser there, go ahead and you can increase your speed. Let your arms rotate here. Excellent. Just a few more. And rest there. Let's bring our feet together. I'm going to take my right arm and make a big circle here, going forward, and just a nice loose motion here as I get all the way behind me and in front, and then switch directions with the same arm. And switch arms. Again, going in one direction. And switch directions. Excellent. Then I'm going to have you just take your toe, pin it into the ground, and I want you to do a couple ankle rolls here. So I've got that toe into the ground, and I'm just moving that heel all in every direction. And then go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. A little bit of motion there. Excellent. Now we're going to do a little bit of dynamic movement with the lower body. So I want you to lift your left knee up, bring it out to the side, and then back down. And then we'll do the other knee. So out to the side and back down. Imagine there's a little gate that you got to get your foot up and over, and then all the way behind you as much as you can here. So if you're at home doing this, go ahead, put some music on, because I do not have any music with this one yet. Although if you just want to hear my lovely voice and breathing, feel free to just listen to that as well. Okay, let's balance on our right leg. What we're going to do is just pull those shoulders back and just keep them nice and tight behind us. And then I'm just going to lift one leg and then stand back up. Okay, so let's alternate legs. You can point your fingers down towards the ground, but what I don't want you to do for right now is I don't want you to reach towards the ground. So let's go ahead and keep our shoulders back while we do this one. And alternating sides, just a couple more. The hardest part with this one, for me at least right here, is not rotating my hips up. I'm just trying to keep them square to the ground, depending on how well your balance is this morning. All right, if you want to use a wall or support, feel free to. We're going to cross one ankle over the other. If you can, keep that toe of the foot that's on the ground pointed in front of you versus pointed out to the side. And then from here, I'm just going to bend over. I'm going to get a bend in that knee, hold it for 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Cross the other ankle over that thigh, slowly lean into it. 3, 2, 1, switch sides. We're going to do these one more time. I want you to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, sink deeper. And one more time on the other side. Good. Now bring those feet nice and wide here into a wide stance. We're going to squat it down. As I get down into that low squat, I'm going to take my elbows and pin them onto my inner thighs here. Just hold that for a few seconds and then back up. So I'll just show you more from the front. We'll sit down, push your knees out, and then stand back up. Let's do 2 more here. Sit, push, and back up. One more time here. Sit down, push, and then right back up. Now we're going to add a little rotation. So as I sit, pushing my knees out, I'm going to take my right arm down and my left arm up, and then I'll stand back up and then do the other side. Left arm down, right arm rotates up. Now what you can do is I'm actually even putting my right hand fingertips on the ground and I'm pushing my right elbow into that inner thigh just a little bit as it kind of gives you a little bit of leverage to rotate up. Here you can push into that leg. Let's do one more each side. Nice sit, nice and low. Last one on the side. All right, this will be the last squat movement. Now go ahead, squat just like we did. Now put your fingers either on your feet or close to the ground and slowly straighten your legs as much as you can. Keeping your fingers down, dropping your head, and then sit back down into a squat. Lift the chest and straighten those legs. Drop your head and sit back down one more time into a squat. Chest up and straighten those legs. Drop your head. Get a stretch in those hamstrings. Excellent work. I am going to make us do 3 inchworms because I know you love them. And then we'll get started with our workout here. So I want you to keep your legs mostly straight as much as you can as you slowly walk your hands out into a plank. When you get to that plank position, you can come all the way down to your knees or all the way down to your chest. And we're just going to do a slight cobra or upward dog here. Again, you'll know which one feels best for you in the core. And then I want you to go ahead, put your hands underneath your chest, either modified or regular push-up, and then slowly straighten those legs into a down dog. Stop halfway in that down dog, pedaling out your feet. Let's get a stretch in those calves real quick. Press that right heel down, that left heel down. And then continue walking your hands in all the way. Bend your knees only if you need to. And let's do that one more time. So we're going to walk it out into that plank, nice and slow. Good. Once you get into that plank, either modified or regular push-up, we're going to go all the way down onto our stomach here. And then you can push up one more time. Deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly sink down into those shoulders, whether you're on your elbows or your hands. Sink down and then drop your stomach. Hands tucked underneath your side. Modified or regular push-up. Walk your hands in halfway. Pedal out your feet one more time. Pulling your chest forward. Pressing one heel down, then the other heel down. And then slowly walk your hands into your toes. As you stand, lift your head. Last, rolling those shoulders down and back. You guys, let's get going into our 5-minute rounds. Okay, we have 2 exercises at a time. You only have to remember 2 of them. Our first one is going to be a goblet squat. Now I'm going to just show you a couple different ways. Now you can always do body weight squats. So if you don't have any equipment, that's fine. You're doing a body weight squat. You want to take it up just a little bit. I'm going to hold on to 1 dumbbell. Okay. And for my first round, I'm going to start lighter. I know I'm going to come back to it, so I can always go up and wait. I'm going to start lighter, holding that weight at my chest. Feet are going to be a little bit wider than my hips, and my toes are slightly turned out. And then I will sit down, getting my elbows close to my thighs as I can, and then standing back up. Please, at the top of your goblet squat, I just want to make sure that we're not coming into this basically like a hyperextension. We want to stop ourselves when we're nice and vertical. Now, I just want to give you one more option to take it up a little bit more, and that's going to be to use a box, bench, chair, anything you have at home. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my butt right by that box, bench, or chair, tap it, hovering for just a second, and then standing back up. And now we're going to do 8 of these. Okay, so we will always do 8 squats, body weight, weighted, or box squats. Once I finish that, I'm going to come into a 45-degree angle row. Let me explain what that means. So traditionally, I make you guys do a complete bent over row. What we're going to do today is we're going to place our hand on that same side leg and see how my body is angled at 45 degrees. So not standing, not bent, 45 right here. Okay. And then I will take again a light weight and I will come on up, pulling that elbow. Make sure again, it's not up by your chest. It's almost by your side, elbow up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do 8 on one arm, 8 on the other. These are your first 2 moves. Okay. So get your weights close by, grab a light one to start with. We're going to go 8 goblet squats, again, 2 or body weight squats, and then 8 rows each arm back and forth. Okay. All right, let me get my timer. We have 5 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and timer is going. 8 goblet squats. As you guys go along through the rounds, feel free to adjust your weight. And I am not going to count out loud because I don't want to mess anybody up. The worst part of this workout today is having to count and try to listen to me at the same time. Probably. But if you're breathing, that is great. And again, and don't count my reps because I know I'm going to mess them up. I probably won't even get to 8, and we're doing a 45-degree angle. So that just means, again, I'm not completely bent over today. It works just a little bit more of those upper back muscles. I want to make sure when you do those rows that you're not rounding your back. So I'm doing my very best to keep my back flat. 8 each arm, and then you're back to your goblet squats for 8. So 8 goblet squats, 8 rows, and this is your 5-minute round. So today's workout is kind of what you want to make it, in the sense that you can challenge yourself with the weights, and you can also do lightweight the entire 5-minute round as well. Okay, there's no right or wrong depending on how you're feeling physically, energy. That's kind of nice because then you won't hear a bunch of beeps and me telling you to stop and go for today. But I will give you time checks. Make sure you're breathing. Do not hold that breath. Now, when you do those rows again, I do want you to rely on that front leg. So a nice big split stance is ideal. So I can lean on that front leg as I do this. And I'm also trying to bring that weight down controlled. So like I said, in general, Hamilton Mountain Strength, or at least the reason I named it that, was to differentiate that this is just a slow, controlled class focused on technique, tempo. We're not doing anything with power today. We're just all slow and tempo controlled. Okay, we've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. So if you've gotten through a round or two, keep working. You guys are doing great. If you're using a chair or a bench, and then you notice that it's actually not too difficult and you don't have to go that low, just ditch it. Just go a little lower if you feel good about that. In general, I'd like more range of motion. Getting low, we can train that range of motion, train your muscles, your nervous system, everything to work in those depths and standing all the way up. Okay, you guys have 1.5 minutes. Keep working here. Make sure you get even on both sides here. So if we finish that 5-minute round and you need to do the other arm, feel free to, because I'll give you a second in between each round. So feel free to finish up both arms so that you are even on both sides. Keep going here. You got 45 seconds. If you have kettlebells at home, you can always use a kettlebell for these squats as well, because it's a great way to hold that goblet position. Finish out this set or this exercise. I'll give you guys a countdown. 10 seconds starting now, because I can read. 6, 5, 4. If you need to even out both arms, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, even out both arms. I'm going to give you a second here. If you are even on both sides, just go ahead and rest. And that was a good warm up. I'll show you our next round after this. Okay, feeling good so far? So we warmed up our squats. You guys did good with the squats. We're going to go up into 2 new moves, okay? One of them will be standing, one of them will be seated. For that first exercise, just want to make sure I got that right. We're going to do an RDL, or a Romanian deadlift. So my feet are going to be underneath my hips. My toes are going to be pointed forward. So just from the front so you can see what this is. When we do that deadlift, it is important that our hips, toes, everything, knees are pointed forward. Now, as I come into that hinge, because a deadlift, we're going to keep a soft bend in those knees the whole time. Now, my knees aren't moving anymore. Soft bend, they stay put. Hips straight back towards the wall. Now for here, you can always do just a body weight, keeping your back flat, finding a stretch through the hamstrings and the glutes, and standing back up. Again, avoiding this tucking motion. We don't want to do that. We're just going to stop right at neutral, okay? Now, when you, if you want to make it harder, you're going to hold on to 2 weights, 1 in each hand, all right? I'll correct form as we go. Now, our second exercise, you're going to have a seat for. We're now going to do a 45-degree angle backward chest press. So what I would recommend, an 8 deadlifts, just in case I forgot to say that. For this incline press, I'm going to come into this seated boat pose position. I will lean back about 45 degrees, okay? And with my weights, I'm going overhead, right back down to my shoulders, overhead, right back down to my shoulders. So definitely starting with the lighter weight there, because we're using both shoulder and a little bit of chest, but also you're challenging your core with that one. Super important that you breathe on that one. Okay, so probably a little bit heavier for the deadlift if you have it or want it, and then a little bit lighter for your chest press. All right, guys, 5 minutes here. We'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's go. Round 2. And there we go. All right. If you've done deadlifts before, Romanian deadlifts before, and you feel good all about your form, you can totally ignore me as I'm talking. But we are going to do 8 of these, 8 reps. Okay. Keeping your shoulders back. So I love the flat backs. I love that the most. Okay. Keeping your spine nice and in a neutral position. So I don't want it extended. I don't want it flexed. Especially when we have heavier weights at our sides. We want to keep all our vertebrae nice and stacked. All right. Once you finish those, you will go on to your 8 incline. I'm going to say incline, but it's definitely not a supported incline chest press. There's a couple different ways you can do that press. If you've had any shoulder issues, especially rotator cuff issues, you can do what's called neutral grip. That just means my palms stay facing me the entire time. You can also do a slight rotation out. So when I take my elbows out to the side, it actually makes it a little bit harder on my core. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to do. 8 of those there. And then we'll go back to our deadlifts. Good job, you guys. In general, I like a tempo to be a slower controlled movement on the way down. And you can always bring the weight up a little bit faster, at least for these 2. So slower on the way down, whether you're doing the press or the deadlift, and then you can bring it up a little bit quicker. Good. Good, good, good. All right. I'm gonna come check form real quick just to see if there's anything I want to call out. Did you guys look good? Great work. We are halfway with our time, halfway. When you're doing that press, please make sure you're breathing, okay? It's easy the second that we start to use our ab or core muscles to not breathe, almost like holding our breath. but you really need to be able to breathe. Taking a deep breath too, if you can. And it is normal, get a little bit of some clicking or popping through the shoulder, as long as it's not painful. So just make sure you're using the light weight for that one. All right, keep working here. You're doing great. In general, with these rounds, if you can get a minimum of 3 rounds each, that's awesome. If you get more than that, that's okay too. That's great too. One thing I just want to mention for that deadlift, now that you've been focusing on your back, real quick, the knees, okay? We don't want to let the knees kind of hang out. I'm just going to do a tiny rotation outward, just a tiny bit outward as I'm hinging. So a lot to think about because you got to keep your back flat. You're going to push that butt back, spread your butt cheeks, rotate the knees out, and then come on up. Again, not butt tucking. Okay, we got 1 minute left. You guys are pressing anyway. I love it. Keep pressing. Good, good. Oh, you guys, I forgot to start my watch. Don't worry, still counts. Still counts. Still important to do. Great work. You like that little self-motivation talk I'm giving myself? Good work. 8 and 8. Now, whenever the timer goes off, I want you to finish your 8 reps of whatever exercise you're doing. You've got 20 more seconds here, 20 more seconds. In 10, 9, finish it out. 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, finish your 8 reps. I'm gonna get a rest here. Finish your 8, and then you can stand on that. Okay, great work. I'm gonna show you our next 2. You guys are doing fantastic. This next one involves the core. Okay, so we're gonna work the core a little bit, and then we're gonna get to our hamstrings and our glutes a little bit more. So for this circuit, all you need is something to put your feet on: a bench, a chair, a box, a step stool. The bottom or second bottom stair is great. So just something close by. A stability ball will be the hardest. So if you have a stability ball at home, you can always use that. Okay, our next 2 exercises don't need any weights. All right, we're just gonna we'll come back to the weights, don't you worry. But we're gonna use core muscles. So the first one, we're gonna be in a plank position. I'll just show you right here. And we're gonna do a shoulder tap. So with our feet wide. Okay, the reason I have my feet wide is because the second that I lift one hand, I really want to make sure that I'm not tipping my hips to the side. So if I lift my right hand, I want to do my very, very best not to dump my hips to the left side. So, and you can tap just your elbow, or you can tap your shoulder. And then the option that would be the hardest would be to reach out in front of you. So I reach out will be the hardest option. Just a little tap will be a little easier. Now you can always do modified. Your second exercise, let me tell you what that one is real quick. We're gonna use, I have the option to make it a little lower, but you can do any height. We're gonna just place the back of our shoe or the back of your heel. So not the bottom of your foot, but the back on that step or on your ball if you're using the ball. And we're going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to push my hips up. Now, by using the back of the heel, we're hoping to get a bit more hamstring and glute. Lower, slow, right back up. Lower, slow, right back up. Okay, now for our plank reach outs or plank shoulder taps, we're going to do 5 each arm. Okay, so 10 total, 5 each arm. For our bridges, we're just going to do 10. Okay, so magic number this round is 10. All right, I'm going to get that timer started. Remember, you can always do a modified plank. I just want to make sure then that my hips aren't behind me, but they're almost in line with my shoulder and my knees. And we're doing our shoulder taps. All right, guys, here we go. 5 each arm, plank shoulder taps or reach outs. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I've got my feet nice and wide. And then as I lift one arm, I want to make sure that my hips don't move. So if you do this one too fast, you actually generally might move those hips. So you do want to go a little bit slower than maybe what feels normal. You're like, I just want to get this over with, but I'm going to need you to slow down. Okay, once you've done 5 each arm there with minimal hip movement, we're going to flip over, laying on our back. And again, do your best to keep a nice neutral back from head to shoulders. As I exhale, press those hips up, come on down slow, tap the ground, right back up, and I'm going to do 10 of these. So just a quick body weight round, just to target those glutes and hamstrings. And I love to use my fingers to count my reps. So if that helps you so that you can focus on your breathing. Also, if you're at home, you can say the number out loud. That tells me that you're breathing as well, which is super important. And once you've done 10 of those, you will flip back to our plank exercises. Plank exercise. Good. Now remember, you can make that a little bit easier by modifying that plank. You can make it harder by doing a reach out even with a pause. I just like to find ways to make it harder for you guys. And if you have those stability balls, I'm trying to think of what else they're called, physio balls, you can use one of those for this bridge. It'll be harder because it's a lot less stable. Or if you're using a chair with wheels, how fun. And we're doing 10 and 10, just a reminder of reps. 5 each arm. Plank, movement with the arm, and 10 bridges. Love the slow, controlled movement on the way down. Definitely continue focusing on that. Good. Quick hint, if you start to feel your calves are doing a lot of the work, I just want you to try to relax your feet. You can pull your toes in towards your shin, or you can push your toes away. So just try to relax your feet for a second. If you're feeling this in your calves too much. Remember, for that plank, we want a wide foot position to help us keep our hips stable. And don't forget to breathe while you're doing your ab exercises. Practice the inhale and the exhale during the movement. Great work. Let me check that time, you guys. We have 1.5 minutes left with this circuit. 1.5 minutes, okay? So maybe one more of each. If you're moving a little quick, you might get a couple. I like these strength days to focus on form, because when you slow something down, you're asking your muscles to hold you in different positions for longer. You can pay attention when you go slow to where your body is. Make sure it's in a good position. You've got good technique. You've got just under 1 minute left here, you guys, just under 1 minute. Move slow through that plank exercise, packing those shoulders down, paying attention to your breathing, watching that hip movement. I want you to do the other exercise. You got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. If you just started the exercise, finish it out here. Just stay there now for the last 10. Great work. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you guys can grab some more. Finish out your exercise first. Finish out your 10 reps and then grab some water. All right. You guys are doing great. Now this round, we're going to pick it up just a little bit. Okay. So we warmed up our front, our quads. We warmed up our glutes and hamstrings and our core and arms. So let's pick it up a little bit. Now for this next circuit, you absolutely are going to want a chair. So a chair or a bench to sit on is going to be ideal, because here's what I'm going to challenge you to do today. All right. It is going to be a single leg squat to the bench and then back up. So I'm going to show you the easiest option, and then I'll show you the 2 harder options real quick. So sitting on your chair or bench, if I wanted to make this one a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is kickstand that other leg out. All right. Now the leg I'm focusing on is the bent knee. I'm going to lean forward, drive this heel down into the ground, push all the way up. Okay. And again, not tucking, just up to neutral. Then my hips go back and right back up again. You're going to do, guess how many? Just kidding, only 5 each leg. It's not terrible. Now, if I want to make it a little bit harder, we're going to lift. I'm going to lift that opposite leg. Okay. Stand on up, sit back down nice and slow, and then right back up. You want to do your very best on the way down, not to plop. Okay. No plopping, because this is where we build the strength. Now your hardest option, just for those of you that are champs and really want to amp it up, we're going to stand up. I'm going to take this leg that's straight, come into a front lunge, come back to balance, and sit back down. Because you're only doing 5, pick your level, okay? Kickstand, in the air, or adding a lunge, 5 each leg. Your second exercise, we're going to pair with that, because that's only the first one. We are going to grab a band, and if you need to go grab one, you can. I can show you a body weight option as well. So either a really light mini band will work, or a therapy band, or a band with handles. So either one of these will work. Now, if you don't have either band, here's what your exercise is. We're going bent over T's. So we're going to go T with our thumbs up, hold it for a second, right back down. You're going to do 10 of those, okay? If you have a light miniature band, we're going to put it close to our elbows. Fingertips are stacked right over those elbows. And I'm going to do 10 pull aparts. Again, holding for a second here, in nice and slow. And the final option, if you have a therapy band, sorry for all these options, you guys, but just got to make sure I'm covering my bases. We're going to hold, our palms are going to be up, and we're going to hold that band here, maybe about shoulder width, pinch those shoulder blades, and then we'll go out to the side, bringing it right to about your chest, and then in slow. Now, no matter which of these T's or reverse flies you are doing, I do not want you to release those middle back muscles for the full 10 reps. So here, engaging those middle back muscles the entire time. Same thing with the bands, okay? Keep those middle back muscles pinched the whole time. All right, let's get going with our single leg squats. Kickstand, give it a go, or up in the air. Single leg squats, you've got 5 each leg. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get going. So single leg squats can be quite challenging. You do not necessarily need to add weight to this one. What I would recommend, if you're feeling real good about it, is to just eliminate the chair or bench. That would be the hardest option. And then remember, you can always add that front lunge for a little extra fun. So just 5 each leg, and then you will switch legs. Remember, no plopping. If your chair or bench is too low, then just focus on a little bit of motion. You don't have to sit all the way down. That kickstand will help though. So if you kickstand, you might be able to get a little bit lower more comfortably. I'm trying to show you all the options, 5 of those there. Okay, your reverse pulls, yes, reverse flies. Now, if you're using that small band, we're going out, but I'm not coming all the way back in. Same thing if I'm using a therapy band or a band with handles. We're going to go out with our arms straight, pinching those shoulder blades just a little bit. And then I come in halfway. So just a little bit halfway and then right back out. Good. Keeping those shoulders back. Excellent. And again, if you don't have any bands at home, I just want you doing T's, pulling those shoulders back the whole time. Thumbs are up towards the ceiling, arms are straight. All right. Once you do 10 of those, back to your single leg squats. We're taking it taking it up a little bit here, adding that front lunge if you want. If you've done this with me before, if you've done these in general, you can absolutely add a weight at your chest or even at your sides. Okay, I'm not going to stop you if you're feeling good today, but you need to go slow on the way down. Quick reminder, you probably already know what I'm going to say. Breathe. It's easy when things get hard to hold your breath. Don't do it. 5 each leg. I'll give you a couple breaths so you guys can probably hear me. Good. All right. Show you guys this round with a mini band, what that looks like. So if you have a light mini band, I say light. If it's too heavy, we're not going to get the most out of this exercise. So you definitely don't want a super heavy band or mini band for this exercise. As you're doing this one, let's say you're only feeling it here. Okay. Your shoulders might be rolled forward. So before you even put any tension on that band, I want you to pull your shoulders back. Okay. Do your best not to lift your rib cage if you do that. You can pull shoulders back without lifting. You've got 1 minute and 45 seconds left. So maybe only one more round of your single leg squats because they're so much fun. And we're adding the weights back in our next round. Tried to get you some single leg stuff because this is tough. Now that you're warmed up, hopefully not too tired yet. Make sure you are sitting down slow. Just tap the bench. If you're getting warm, you're like, oh, I can do this. Tap that bench. Try not to sit all the way down. Okay, keep going here. You've got 45 seconds. I'm going to do those body weight tees for those of you at home without a band. We're just doing a tee. So thumbs are up. Keep those middle back muscles pulled. It's almost like I put an ice cube down your back. And you're like, oh, that's cold. And you squeeze. Keep that squeeze the whole time. You've got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. This is the part of the AMRAP where I just stare at the screen and watch you guys here with me today. Okay, 5, 4, you can probably hear my babes. 3, 2, finish it out. So if you need to do the other leg, do the other leg. If you just started your pull aparts, finish your pull aparts, do 10 of them, or your bent over tees. Finish it out. You can grab some water while I'm going through the next set. All right. Good work. Thumbs up or down. Do we love single leg squats? Oh, we love them so much. I like that. I like the sideways. Okay. All right, here we go. Next exercise. So if you have a mini band at home, you're feeling good, put this on above the knees. If you don't have a mini band, don't worry about it. You don't need it. So I'm just going to show you with the band. You can just imagine it is not there if you don't have one. Not a problem at all. We're going to work our arms a bit more. We're going to multitask for this first exercise. So I'm going to grab some lighter weights. We're going to do bicep curls, but we're going to add a hip flexion. So let me show you lower body first real quick. I'm going to balance on one leg. Okay. I'm going to lift that other knee up and hold. Okay. So we've got some lower body stability. And then with my dumbbells, I'm going to add some bicep curls. All right. And I'm going to do 5 curls with one knee up. And then I'll switch and do 5 curls with the other knee up. Big thing for cueing, especially if you're using a resistance band. Watch my hips. As I lift this knee, it's going to be very easy for me to butt tuck. See how I'm kind of like me? Okay. So I want you to think about keeping your butt out as you lift your knee and your chest up. Okay, so butt out and chest out. So I've got a nice flat neutral back and I'm not tucking, I'm not leaning back. It's easy to lean back with curls, but let's avoid it. So if you need a mirror, if you have one, pay attention to that. It's your first exercise. So bicep curls, 5 each arm or 5 each leg. Then your second one, we're going to come to our seated position. I know you have a chair close by or something. Hopefully you've been using it for the class. We're going to come into an overhead tricep extension, and I'm going to focus on not thrusting my rib cage up. So I'm going to focus on keeping my rib cage down as I do my 10 tricep extensions, 10 tricep extensions. Okay. So biceps, 10 curls, 10 triceps. We're going to add a little lower body stability for this round. You guys ready? All right, let's get going. Grab your weights for curls in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, and I'm just gonna do a lot of reminding that we're not butt tucking. As I lift that knee, I've got my butt out. It's almost as if you are feeling like you're leaning forward a little bit. So got some stability, got some good ankle, calf work here as you're staying balanced. Get full range of motion with those curls. So don't stop early. Come all the way down to your arms are straight. You can use the camera screen if you need to make sure that your back is flat. Or just feel that you're not tucking those hips. 5 on each arm. And then I'm just going to double up. So I'm just going to use both of my lighter weights that I just did for the curls. Seated position, and we're going to come into our tricep extension. Inhaling down, exhaling up overhead. 10 of these. Remember those. Remember the rib cage. Yeah. Especially if you're really tight, you're going to want to thrust to try your best to keep it down. All right, guys, back to curls. Great job. You can go through this at your own tempo. Now, remember, you don't need a mini band. So especially it's easier without a mini band to prevent yourself from leaning back. Don't lean back. Lean into it. 5 curls on one side and 5 curls on the other side. I have to practice that butt tucking business and making sure I'm not leaning back when I do my bicep curls. I keep my hips back, my shoulders back, leaning into that curl versus leaning back, especially if you have to lean back, that weight's too heavy. So pay attention to that there, guys. If you have weight options at home, these AMRAP rounds are a great time to use them because you can start light, go heavy, or opposite, depending on how you're feeling. Okay. For the next round, can I get everybody to turn sideways? I want to make sure that you're not leaning. When you do your curls, turn sideways. Okay. Just next time you get to your curls, show me sideways. Yep. So far, so good with what I see. Good. I'm going to keep watching. So keep going sideways for me. Okay. Stick those hips out just a little bit. And as you curl, you can lean into it just a little bit. All right. Very good. And keep breathing with every curl. Exhale. All right, let me check that time. Biceps and triceps. You've got 1 minute. 1 minute with this round. If your hips are getting tight or tired, please take that band off. Okay, so if your hips get tight or tired, just take that band off and do it without. I'm sure by now, if you don't have weights at home, you are more than welcome to do dips, tricep dips. Those are always a great option. 20 seconds here. Hips back. Good, good. That is a hard one. 10. I want you to finish your exercise. 10 reps of triceps if you just started. 10 curls. 3, 2, 1. Finish your exercise. Finish it out. Grab some water once you are. Okay, you guys are doing fantastic today. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you're challenging yourself at home, okay? So I didn't want to tell you at the beginning, but there are 7 rounds. We've done 5. We only have 2 more left. Okay, you can do it. I know. Time-wise, if you're here, if you need to go, you can go now. If you can stay with me for a couple more rounds. You're doing fantastic. Okay, you're gonna do a sit-up for the next round. I'm gonna get us going quickly. These 2 exercises are back to core, and they're pretty basic. We're gonna go into a slow sit-up and then mountain climbers. For the sit-ups, we're gonna do 8, but for the mountain climbers, we're gonna do 10 each leg. For those sit-ups today, I'm gonna focus on not using any momentum, laying back nice and slow, not using my neck to pull myself up or momentum, and I'm going to sit back. If you want to add a weight, you can absolutely add a weight as long as you don't use it to pull yourself up. Okay. Your second exercise is going to be a mountain climber, and you can go slow and controlled. And let's do 8 each leg. If you would like, you can go a little quicker, but for today's purpose, I might have you go slower, focusing on your breathing as you lift one leg in. So let's get started with this round. We've got sit-ups for 8, and then 8 mountain climbers each leg, alternating back and forth. All right, you guys are doing great. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go sit-ups. Any form of sit-up with or without a weight, but just make sure that you are paying attention to your breathing. So I want you inhaling and exhaling the whole time. Thinking about those smaller muscles underneath your belly button, pulling you up nice and strong. All right, once you've done 8 of those, again, try to use as little momentum as you can. We are going to come into mountain climbers. And you can either go high mountain climber on your hands, or you can do this on an incline as well. And again, get as much range of motion as you can. So I want you to try to bring that knee in towards that same side elbow, 8 each leg, with good range of motion. Keep those shoulders packed down and continue breathing the whole time. Very good. Back to sit-ups. Good job, you guys. Keep working. Got just one more round after this, like a finisher round. And then we're done. So this one and one more. Don't watch my legs when I do this. You guys are laughing. I'm using my legs a little bit. Exhale up. Do not hold that breath. 8 sit-ups, 8 climbers each leg. Remember, incline climbers and as much range of motion as you can get. Shoulders packed. Back and forth. I'll check that time. Continue working here, sit-ups and climbers. We're halfway. Halfway. So if you guys did 2 rounds, I want you to try to get 2 more. Continue breathing. Strengthening those muscles all the way up, attaching to those rib cage, and all the way down. So breathe all the way down into the pelvic area as you lift up. Exhale for those sit-ups. Woo! All right, keep going. We have a minute and a half left here with this round, a minute and a half. And by now, because we're working upper body flexion, lower body flexion, I hope you guys are feeling your core muscles, okay? If you're not, I need you to just think and focus your energy and your breathing into these muscles, okay? So exercise does take a little bit of thinking sometimes, especially when I'm making you count. You guys have 1 minute, 1 minute here. We have 1 more round after this, and then we are done. Good form, everybody. Good form. Keep it up. Hopefully, if you're doing this at home, you've got some music motivating you, and you're not just listening to me breathe. Keep those shoulders packed down for those mountain climbers. Just noticed I was shrugging. Here we go. 10 seconds. Let's go. Finish your set. We've got 1 more round after this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job, you guys. Grab some water. Now, if you want it, final round here. We are going to use our weights again. So if you have weights at home, you can use them. If you don't have weights, body weight is perfect. All right, our final 2 exercises. We're going to do 6 of each of these, 6 of each of these, okay? Your first one is going to be weighted. Your second one is going to be weighted if you want it to be weighted. First exercise, sumo squat, feet wide. We're going to turn those toes out, angle them out. Now, key is when I sumo squat, 2 things. I want to push my hips back as opposed to going straight down. Okay, for today, we're going to push them back a little. And as I bend my knees, I'm going to make sure I rotate them away from the center of my body. Now, I can just do 6 body weight squats, or I can do a weighted, holding it at your chest or down between your legs. So if you were holding dumbbells or kettlebell between the legs for this last one, round would be great. We're going to go 6 of these, and we're going to go slow and controlled. Your second exercise, you're either going to do 6 slow push-ups, looking like this. We go down for 3, 2, 1, and then back up, down 3, 2, 1. I'm going to modify real quick to show you where my elbows go. Watch where they go. They're angled. They're not just from the front. They're not up high. We need to angle them down about 45 degrees, okay? So that's your 6 push-ups. Now, if you prefer and you have a bench at home and you'd prefer to do chest press, or if push-ups bother you for any reason, go ahead and grab some dumbbells, and you have dumbbells at home. You can do a chest press real quick. Just want to show you before we get going. Is going to be, again, angled down and then right back up. And I will do 6 of those. If you're using light weights at home, feel free to do flies, okay? Otherwise, push-ups it is. All right, guys, let's get going. Grab your weights or weight. For sumos, we've got 6, and then 6 chest press or 6 push-ups. Last round, we are done after this, guys, so keep working. In 3, 2, 1, and let's go. 6 sumo squats. I'm going to watch that your knees are rotated outward as you sit. Also, make sure at the very top, this is going to be the song of the day, is that you're not butt tucking. Let's keep those hips underneath us. Okay. A couple things happen when you butt tuck. And I know you're counting, so I'll tell you later. Once you've done 6 of those, I know I've done 3. You're going to do push-ups or chest press. I just want to show you that push-up form one more time. Hands are going to be a little bit wider than my mat. And I'm just going to lower myself for 3 seconds. Push back up for 1. Lower myself for 3 seconds. Push back up for 1. Or chest press. Either one is fine with me. You've got 6 of those, and then back to your sumo squats. All right. Finish it out here. One more lower body, one more upper body. Final round. Bringing it down controlled. Pushing those heels into the ground as I stand myself back up. Good. Now, if you're feeling like you want to do a chest press instead and you have the bench or the weight to do so, feel free to do that. That's fine. Just make sure if you're doing your chest press, watch me here real quick for a second. I want to make sure that your elbows aren't up high. I don't want your elbows in line with your shoulders, okay? Because that's just going to work a bit more, too much shoulder. I want you to angle them down. The muscles we're trying to work are right here. So if I draw a straight line from hand to hand, we need to go through that area. So keep it a little lower, elbows down if you're doing your presses. If you are doing push-ups, remember that same thing with your elbows. 6 and 6. Now for a harder workout today, I would stick with one exercise. If you're doing presses, stick with presses. If you're doing push-ups, stick with push-ups. Don't do what I'm doing, which is bopping around. Good sumos. Halfway, guys, with our time. Halfway. Good press. Great job, you guys. Just trying to show you all the different ways that you can hold the weight. Let's say I've got one weight, kettlebell or dumbbell. You can definitely hold it the long way between your legs. Remember, you're not butt tucking at the top. Okay. And as you sit, spread your glutes, push your knees out. 6 of those there. Yes. Slow controlled because we're only doing 6 reps. Slow controlled. You've got it. Just over a minute. So maybe we get one more of each exercise. One more of each exercise. Oh, these allergies are killing me this week. Again. Good, you guys. Love the form. I like what I see. 40 seconds. Get one more exercise. At least here. All right, finish it out. You got 10 seconds. If you started an exercise, stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you can hear those beeps, it means just, yeah, that you are done for today. Good work. You're